Good morning, everybody. This is Tom from Weekly Gospel Reflections. I'm doing a little bit different today. I'm doing a podcast that I normally do, Tom and Ruth podcasts, but I'm adding Weekly Gospel. I had overwhelming response last time I did. So today we're going to talk about, are you lonely? And what are you going through? During the holidays, one of the hardest things in the world is being alone. We often find ourselves saying, if you're alone, oh man, it's really hard. God did not mean for everybody to be alone. God doesn't want you to be alone on this earth. God wants you to either have someone, friends, family, friends, neighbors, acquaintances, somebody to get you along during this time. This is a verse, this really good verse that I want to talk about first, that you could really say this verse and it kind of gets you through the hard times. And really, when I was alone, I prayed this verse, and I would always pray this verse because there were many times I was alone during the holidays. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So when you're lonely and you're not feeling like up to par, and I know for me, I was alone for many years, and I understand. And I was just looking for someone just to kind of spend some time, the holiday time. And the reason I was alone is there's a couple different reasons, different points of my life. I was alone because of my job had me in an area that I couldn't get home, or storms came through, and I just couldn't catch a flight out, or I was just alone because of divorce, or just life in general. I was alone. The world is full of lonely people. We often don't realize how many lonely people there are out there right now. There are actually millions and millions of people out there that are lonely. And positive words that you can give someone during this time are so powerful. The powerful word of God. See, God is word. And whatever you speak, you're speaking because God gave us the word. And words are so powerful. It can change someone's life. It can make people a millionaire. Words can make people rich. Words can make people poor. Words can influence someone's life to make them so sad upon themselves that they get depressed. Words can actually bring somebody up and get them so positive that they become rich and wealthy and healthy. The Spirit of the Lord is always with you no matter what. We often don't really think how much God is with you, and God is with you on everything. We often forget that. So you think that life happens as a dreaming. We dream of that we're going to be doing this when you're young. We dream we're going to have a house, a car, maybe a couple of kids, depending if you're male or female. How has God influenced you? I'm going to tell you a story about my past that I was in, I would say, my mid-20s. I was working a lot. And I start off by saying I was divorced. I recently got divorced in August, and Christmas rolled around. And I put myself into the job and work. But things kind of got to me come holiday time because I'm a holiday kind of guy. I love to have someone around. I'm not a person meant to be alone, although I've been alone. I'm not someone to go grab somebody off the street and be with someone, but I've been alone. So there is a difference. I don't want to be alone, but I've been alone. I didn't want to be, but I just happened to be that way. Have you ever had a light bulb moment coming in your life? It just hit you all of a sudden. When I was younger, about mid-20s, I was working all the time, and I was literally working 12, 14, 16 hours a day, just whatever. I was doing retail, so they let you work as much as you want because that's on a salary. So you're on salaries, you work to the need of the store. And if you have to work 12 hours a day, you only get paid for 8. That's just the way it is. Sorry. Well, during that time, I was just really going through a lot because of the divorce. The kids I didn't even see the kids at Christmas because the wife was just giving me heck. And it was just something that it was just really just bothering me to the core of my body. It got to the point to where I was like really offset by it. I would get like really thinking about it all the time. I would just wake up in the morning thinking about it. I'm going to be alone this Christmas. I found myself depressed. and really depressed. And I was to the point of depressed. I was down in the gutter, depressed. Nothing was going to bring me out of it. I was trying to do everything I could do to bring myself out of it. Well, I just went to the boss one day. I was what they call a co-manager. I was working. I had the late night shift. I worked from 11 or 12 during the morning, noon, and then worked till 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Time the store closes. It closed at 9. By the time you got out of there, it's 10, 10:30, 11, because you got to count the money and all the stuff and the tills. And you guys understand that. So I'd been doing that. I closed like 2, 3 nights a week, and I was just tired and tired of working and loading trucks by myself and just tired. Well, depression hit in. I went to the boss and said, I got to have off. I got to have off. I can't just keep, I can't do this right now. I'm ready to quit, you know. He said, what's wrong? I've known you've been working here 10 years. You not missed a day of work. You've not been sick one day in 10 years. What's wrong? I said, nothing. So he said, okay, take off, go. You going to be here tomorrow? I said, I don't know. He said, okay, I'll prepare that you're not here tomorrow. He kind of knew what was going on. He let me go. He kept his mouth shut. So what we did, I just went ahead and did my thing, and next thing I know, the guy, I go home, and immediately when I hit the door, I felt so tired. I felt this overpowering thing of, I'm so tired. Why am I so tired? I think I got my normal 5 hours sleep last night. Why am I so tired? I'm a young man. I shouldn't be this tired. So I fell in recliner. The only furniture I had in the house was a recliner and a chair. Because, as you know, I rented a house. It was $300 a month. And this house is a humongous 2-story, beautiful home, but it's not furnished. So I had a couch and a chair and a fridge and a stove and a bed. That was beautiful bedrooms upstairs. Long story short, I jumped in the chair, I passed out, and then all of a sudden I started dreaming. I passed out. I literally passed out. I started dreaming. I started dreaming my past, my holidays. I was a child. I was a child getting gifts from my mother and father. Like I would tell them where to put the gifts. Can I have these gifts? Can I do this? Can I do this? And writing the gifts, going through the catalogs, Montgomery Ward and Sears, and all the catalogs, and circling them and say, this is what I want, and I give it to my brother, this is what they want. It's always a wish list, but my mother and father had no money. My father was making minimum wage, so he would just, kind of like go with the flow. But I knew that after a while that my father would do the very best he could do, and he did. They always kind of excelled at Christmas time and really gave us good gifts, us boys. Well, I was sitting there, and I had these dreams of that. I had dreams of my boys being born, and I had dreams of my past and playing baseball and going to the state championships and just all the things that was just positive. No negativity, not one thing in negative, just a flow of just going through my mind, going through it. It was just amazing, all the stuff, and it's just flowing. It was like my first job and how much money I made, my first check and my first car, and it was going through my first date, the prom date, and dating the queen of the prom. And it's just going on and on and on and on. And it got to the point, I woke up 2 hours later, and it was all positive. I woke up 2 hours later. I was hungry. I was literally starving. I was sick. And I ate that morning, and I said, there's no reason for me to be this hungry now. So I tell you what I'll do. I'll just go down to a local diner right around the corner. I'm still kind of tired because it felt like I was working in the dream. You guys ever had those dreams? So when I got around the corner of the diner, it's we call it a 5 and dime diner. It's like old World War diners. You go in and get a hamburger for a quarter. It wasn't, but you go and get a hamburger and a drink and everything for less than $2. It was just a wonderful place to go. I walk in the door. The first thing comes out, hey, Brother Tom. I look and I go, huh? What are you guys doing here from the church? What are you guys doing here? Oh, we always meet here every day. You just never here. What are you doing off work? You're never off work. You always work at that store down there, and you're down there all the time. And I said, yeah, I know. I took off today. What? You okay? You okay? You okay? I sat down with them. Before you know it, I got to talking, and I just got to talking, and I felt myself, and I was actually feeling great and fantastic. Depression's gone. It was just disappeared. God took that away. God took everything away, and I was just walking on cloud 9. I talked to the guys. I was walking on cloud 9. I said, God gives us a path to help other people. There's a gentleman there at the table. He was depressed, and the guys were talking about being depressed. So I told him my story. I told him what happened to me today and what happened. He said, let me tell you a story. I had the same thing happen to me yesterday, and I ended up here today. I said, really? He's never would meet them, he said, very rarely. He was alone, a single guy, in his mid-70s, just really just tired of the world, tired of everything. We got to talking, and we had a lot of things in common. Come to find out, we ended up being good friends for years, and right after that. And long story, just by meeting someone and going out and talking to people and helping people will bring you out of depression. It will help you no matter what you do. I don't care if you go, and I used to do this, and I learned when I got a little older, at Christmas time, I would grab $100 and $5 bills. Okay, it's not many, right? So I would grab $100 and I would take those $5 bills and I'd drive in my car in Orlando, downtown Orlando, Central Florida, where the homeless be on every corner, all over the place. You know, you didn't see that many, but they had their camps certain places, but there were people out walking, pushing carts. I would drive, pull off my truck off the road, get out and say, Merry Christmas, here's $5. $5 makes a difference to someone's life. That $5 I can eat today, the guy said. That $5 I can buy a pair of shoes today. I can buy me a pair of shoes. I said, where are your shoes? And so I ended up meeting some great and fantastic people, and come to find out, a lot of the people were professionals. One I met was an attorney. I said, what in the world happened to you? And why are you living on the street? He said, I hit bad times. I got into drugs. I got into cocaine. Cocaine took my money, took my wife, took my life. And before you know it, we ended up talking on the corner for an hour. I said, here's another $20. How can I help you get out of this rut? He said, you've already helped me. You've already helped me. I said, you need a place to stay. I got a place. I'm staying over here at this YMCA or whatever. So I said, is there a way that we can get you back on your feet? Can we contact your family or something? He said, can I use your phone? Can I call my daughter? Of course. Where's she at? She's in St. Louis. And he called St. Louis. I said, you got the number? He said, yeah, I got it in my mind. He said, I stopped doing drugs. I quit all that, but I found myself with nothing. Called his daughter. Next thing you know, she flew down. I never saw him again. I don't know what happened to them, but I know that that day made his Christmas. One thing you need to do is realize that. For me, I left, got out of that situation, and went on in my life. Maybe you have financial problems. Maybe you're having a hard time at work. Maybe the co-workers are bothering you. Maybe a relationship is not going that well. Maybe a time of temptation that you're struggling with, depression. Maybe years ago, I know for me, I took that depression and I said, I don't know where I'm going to go with this because it's looking really bad for me. So much things are so many positive. In fact, I remember that dream. It had vacations that I went to. My vacations that I already forgotten about, it just rushed into my mind. I didn't remember this vacation, driving my parents going across country and going to Mississippi to visit from Arizona to Mississippi. And as you know, back in those days, there was no air con in the cars. In the 60s, they had it possibly, but it was all the evaporator type where you had water to it. And it blowing out water and everything else, and it'd work and wouldn't work and everything else. I remember my father saying, this piece of crap, we're throwing it out in Texas because it ain't working. I said, Dad, you can't throw it out. Didn't you pay for that? I did. I'm not going to throw it out, but I can vent. My dad was funny, boy. He'd vent about something. He'd get so angry on something like that. See, in that dream, it woke me up. It just woke me up and said to myself, I have so much to live for. I have so much to be here for. Maybe someone in your life during this holiday season, you can go visit and visit them for a short period of time and give them a choice of happiness and give them a choice of freedom that they normally would not have. Maybe one step, maybe just giving them $5, maybe not giving them anything, or maybe it's some food, maybe just be your company. God was telling me always to try to be with someone. My ex-wife, was just giving me heck, and I knew at that time. I said, "There's a better part of me coming," and I found myself later on in my life. As you know, I found myself in my 40s working, and I had a different atmosphere and different things. Sure, I think all of us battle depression at one time in life. I did battle a deeper depression after that. I did battle a really deeper depression after that, but that is another story in itself. And the deeper depression was more, in fact, of losing everything that I had in my life. At that time, when I was younger, I had a job, I had, a house, I had a little money in the bank, I was surviving. But there was another part of my life, and I've already told that story. I will tell it another time, of going deeper into a place that is going into a black hole that is almost a no return. But it's a very good story to tell. God has helped me through. Not everybody goes through life and it's just perfect stream. There are some that you think that go through life that's a perfect stream and they never have any problems. They never have any issues. But behind closed doors, everybody has some type of issues, whether it's money, whether it's relationship, whether it's kids. Maybe the kids are hooked on something. There are a lot of things that happen. I mean, I just recently got an email from a good close friend of mine that I've known for over 30 years in the U.S. And his young daughter, at a young age, is pregnant. At a young age, is pregnant. And it wasn't because of her raising. It wasn't because of her. It was because of she got mixed up in the wrong group of kids. Sometimes the environment that you're in get you involved in things that you maybe shouldn't want to get involved in. And I think the Lord sometimes wants us to always be aware that He's going to be with us no matter what things we go through in life, that we need to take the time and ask Him to help us through this. I ask Him every day when I wake up, please give me something positive happen to me today, Lord Heavenly Father, because I know you're going to give me something positive happen to me today. Not only that, thank you for this glorious life I have, and thank you so much for always giving me the strength to fight the challenges. Please, any temptations come before me today, take them away from me today. Don't let me have any temptations in front of me today, and if they do, throw them away. And help me go forth and help someone today. If you do something and say something like that in a certain way and the way you want to do it, your life will be really meaningful. And yesterday, a gentleman came to the gate because here in the Philippines, they knock at the gate and they sing a song. And a lot of times, a lot of people turn those people away because they're from the mountain or they're from wherever, and they're just looking for extra income to help sustain their family. A gentleman and his wife came to the gate yesterday, and I could tell they didn't have anything. You could tell the clothes were dirty. Just really, you could tell. And I went out and gave them 10 peso. We always keep a stack of money here that we go out 10 peso, or 20, because if it's a large group, we give them 20, like that. So this couple, I give them 10 peso, and I'm just talking with him. And the lady kind of understood English. She wasn't that old. She was probably mid-20s. And I said, why? She goes, my husband worked on cutting sugarcane, cut his leg, and he did cut his leg. And he can't work. And he damaged his leg pretty good. Those blades are sharp, by the way. And so one thing led to another. I'm only one working, and 150 peso a day is just not enough money. And she said some days I make 120 peso as a normal salary. So 120 peso a day, that's $2 and change a day, $2, 20, 30, 40 cents a day that they make. And rice is going to cost you 10, 20 peso a day to eat 2, 3 meals, or 30 peso a day. And that gives you hardly anything else. Most don't have electric and things like that, as you know, because you can't afford it. Now, they do have plans here for that, but honestly, a lot of them still don't have electric. But if you just help one person and help them along, and I don't like seeing people hungry, number one. Number two is sometimes people just need a companion during this time. So I want to tell everybody that are here, that on this earth, just give one person even a nod and thank you and Merry Christmas, and I want you to have a blessed and exciting day. And if you do that, you're going to have a blessed and exciting day yourself. Thank you so much for always watching, and thank you so much for always coming on. God bless everybody, And thank you so much from Tom and Ruth Weekly Gospel Reflections.